Hello and welcome again. It's about 7 a.m. here in the wonderful Ohio River Valley, and today we are back with the stupid Ford. This tractor, as I covered in a previous video, does not like to start, won't crank. And a host of other issues. Right now we're working on the won't crank part of it. Again, this is a 961 Ford, and I can tell just by the way that feels that cable is broken, and that is the one that runs from your starter solenoid down to the starter itself. And yesterday evening I purchased a new cable for it. So yeah, let's get her swapped out. So we have removed the old cable, and as you can see, it is very much the worse for wear, though it doesn't appear to be broken as I thought it was. But we have a new one anyway, so we're just going to change it out and see if that does anything for us. Alright, so our new cable is just a little bit long, but it's the best thing that I have currently, so it's what we're going to use. And we'll hope that it brings this thing to life under its own power without me having to put 12 volts to the starter every day, or roll it off a hill, or pull start it, or whatever else we got to do. It starts up really nice if you pull it. It only travels, you only have to roll it about 3 feet and it'll fire right up. But that's kind of a pain to have to deal with all the time. So we're changing this out in hopes that it makes a difference. Of course, I keep kicking the camera and everything else, but anyway. I really don't know what people did before there were gear wrenches. off with that wrench. That's okay though. I brought the 7/16. As long as that works, we'll be all right. Right? Okay. Okay, so that's that. Let's get our cable replaced. So now, on to seeing if the thing will start. Alright, so I just turned on the fuel. Now let's see if this thing will crank all by itself. Interior is neutral. On your switch here. So anyway, I guess it's time to break out the meter and start troubleshooting again. Alright, so important to note, I turned the gas back off and I have the ignition switch off also, so the thing actually will not start in case we hit a bad, in case something happens. So what we're going to do is we are going to check right here on top of the solenoid. I don't know if you can see that or not with my arm in the way. Probably not, but anyway, we have 6 volts there going to the solenoid. So we'll hit our start button here, and we're dumping the power out down to 3 volts. I don't think they'll crank like that. Yeah. So now we have something else going on here. So I guess I'll try a different battery and see if that works. I have a spare 6 volt. That's one problem with these 6 volt systems and not wanting to spend money on them is, to convert it to 12 volt, which we may have to do yet. I don't know. I don't want to do that, but we'll see how it goes. So let me yard that battery out of there and clean all the connections, and we'll see what goes after that. Alright, so we came up with 2 issues on the other side of the tractor. I don't know how well you could see that, but anyway, this terminal end, this bolt together terminal end, was not very good, and also my cable here is all kinds of green, so I think we need to replace this one too. And this is the positive cable on this one, but for a 6 volt system it's the ground. So yeah. Now of course I have a few extra parts laying around, so let me go gather stuff up and we'll get on with something. Alright, so we have another problem here. Not really a big deal, but as you can see, that bolt won't fit through the hole in this lug on the battery terminal. So now what I'm going to do is find a hole that my drill bit that I have selected will fit through, which isn't that one. So we'll use this one here, and then drill it out bigger. if we can. Beware of the hazards though. So at this point in time, we'll just flip it over, drill it from this side, hopefully. Or we'll take it to the bench grinder and clean it up. And as you can see, we've got it through. So now I'll just run it back over to the bench grinder and clean this edge off, and it should be good to go after that. Alright, so let's put this battery back in. We've got some miscellaneous gauge lines and stuff that aren't hooked up anymore. It does have a functioning oil pressure gauge, which is always good. So, again, as I said earlier, this is a 6-volt positive ground system. So, let me reset this camera. Alright, so 6-volt positive ground. So our negative lead, negative terminal on the battery is actually connected to the starter solenoid. These are, if you're used to 12-volt stuff, these are very irritating systems to deal with. So we've got our negative terminal connected, push our battery back in, and then hook up our positive to the ground, which you know, on modern vehicles makes it just arc out basically. Though I have seen 12-volt positive ground systems also, but they were kind of a mid to late 50s thing when the engines got bigger and they needed more cranking amps. So they went to a 12-volt system, positive ground. Which I don't really understand why they did that, but that's the way they did it. It wasn't until the 60s that 12-volt positive ground systems really started coming into play with the advent of an alternator rather than a generator. But anyway, we've got this buttoned up here for the moment, so let's see what happens now. Okay, let me go turn the fuel on and see what happens. So yeah, I'm kind of at a loss here, but let's see what I can come up with. Alright, so another thing that you can try with these turds, 6-volt systems that is you can see I ran an extra wire here from our positive terminal on the battery, and I ran it around to, get around here again, a bolt on the starter. So now I just tried to crank it, and this wire is not getting hot. This one's not getting hot. This one up here isn't getting hot either, and the original ground on the battery is not hot either. So make sure it's in neutral again, and then listen to this. She's just not quite getting it. At all. So let me get my meter drug back out here, and at this point in time we either have a bad battery that doesn't test bad, or a bad starter, which, as you can see by looking, that starter just really isn't all that bad to look at. Still trying to get my leads untangled here. It's one problem with meters, but make sure of what we're looking at here. Let's turn that up some. We're going to go to here, and we have 6 volts currently. We hit the button, and my battery is now holding, but the thing is not cranking either. So it would appear that our solenoid has gone bad, actually. Yep, 1.4 volts there. My battery's not doing too good either, it doesn't look like. Three volts, so yeah, either we've got a bad valve. Let's try a new battery. Alright, so installed a different battery. It's not a new battery, but it's these are both actually good the other day, so let's see if it'll spin any better with this one. Oh, this one might actually work. I'm gonna go turn the fuel on. Let's see. Come on, stupid Ford. Well, after all that, it was just the battery. that's kind of the nature of these things, is they crank pretty slow, which makes it extremely hard to get them to start. And as I've said repeatedly, I am not at all familiar with this thing. So yeah, I've not had a lot of seat time with it or anything like that. So I've had to, I didn't quite know the sequence to get it to start, but it turns out you just give it full choke for a second while it's cranking and then let it out and it'll go ahead and run. So that's excellent news. Now, anyway guys, the stupid Ford is now operational again. On that part anyway. We still got to do something about the seat and something about the exhaust, which is gonna have to wait for another video. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe for more.